Hello, and we are back with the Fearless Lioness Specialist. Hello, Julie. How are you? Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Lovely to be here. Ciao, everyone. I'm in Italy.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. So, tell us a little bit about what it is that you do as a transformational coach, and tell us about how you came up with the title for Fearless Lioness Specialist. How did that come about?
Okay, I'd be glad to share. I have an amazing story. So, yes, I used to be an abandoned, rejected, invisible, abused, and people pleasing kitten. And I transformed myself. There was a very pivotal event in my life which caused me to really shake off this kitten-like costume and really stand in my lioness persona, which is what we were all born lions or lionesses. And then I've revolutionized and transformed myself into a fearless, strong, and confident lioness who has found her roar again.
Yes, I love that. I love that, Julie. That is fantastic. So, what is your goal with your business and the things that you hope to impact other communities with? What does that look like for you?
Well, I'm on a really big, passionate mission to help a billion female entrepreneurial kittens to find their roar and also to become fearless, strong, and confident lionesses. So that they can live a life by design and not by default, which is what most of us are living our lives like.
Oh, that's so true. Myself, as a recovered people pleaser, I understand what that was like. A lot of times feeling like my personal opinion should be stifled in pursuit of likability or being
Yeah,
agreeable. And I was not very fulfilled living in that way because I felt like I was stuffing the version of me that I actually am into a box just to be liked. You know
yes,
what I mean? But I'm telling you, honey, when you get out of that box, you're never going back in.
I know, I know,
because
I know.
because it's freeing just being yourself, right?
Exactly, exactly. But what people don't realize is the magic happens outside the comfort zone, your comfort zone box or desert island, whatever you want to call it. That's where the magic happens, and you have to step out of it in order to have a happier, fulfilling life, right?
That's so true. That's so true. So,
Mm,
what was the pivotal point that you experienced that you evaluated yourself and you said, I am
mm.
people pleasing. I am not living up to my full potential. I'm not as confident as I know I should be. And then you started to do the work. So, what was that
Mm.
moment like for you when you had that self awareness?
Well, actually, it was a particularly sad and traumatic experience in my life. But it was the moment where I realized that I really had to dig deep and rediscover who I was and decide who I wanted to become because I was just spiraling out of control.
Mm.
It was back in 2006 when my beloved dad died and my world collapsed, and I experienced other traumatic things on top of that,
Yeah.
including the end of a 5-year relationship with my fiance. I was grieving for both relationships. I was crying nonstop for 12 hours, and I never cry. Um, I was accused of crying crocodile tears, didn't have the support of my family or my friends. My friends couldn't understand what I was going through.
Yeah.
I had a speeding ticket because I wasn't aware of what I was doing in the car.
Yeah.
And then I had a little car accident, but thankfully not with any other car or driver or object. I just slipped on some diesel and ended up in the field. But luckily,
Oh,
it was the curve, the bend before, because if it had happened at the next bend, um, I would have hit a tree, and that would have been the end of me. But this was a big wake up call. But stupid me, because I was still in this daze, and I don't know if you know about grief. You go through all these different phases.
yeah.
I went to work, and I was white as a sheet, and the HR lady was very concerned about my mental stability. So she spoke to my boss, and I was a contractor for a rather cushy company, a big blue chip company, sorry, in Cambridge. It was a cushy contract. And she voiced her concerns to my boss, and then he decided to let me go. So I
Oh,
lost my job, I lost my dad, I lost my fiance, had a car accident, you name it. Everything happened all at once. So I kind
yeah,
of spiraled, as you do, because
right,
all of these negative things, it's overwhelming. It really is
right,
unbelievably overwhelming. So,
right.
I pigged out on comfort food. I was so depressed. I went to grievance counseling. I was basically throwing my money away because she wasn't giving me any like tools that I could use. She was just sitting there listening, and
Yeah,
I yeah, I suppose that was good because I didn't have anybody to listen to me,
right.
right?
So it was helpful on one essence, but you're like,
Yeah,
I need some things to implement here, ma'am.
yeah,
Like,
true.
I want to get better. Right,
Yeah, of course. I don't want to be stuck like this, and this lasted 10 months.
right.
Um, and eventually, last resort. Oh yeah, one other thing. The only thing that kept me sane, and I didn't realize until I did some studying later how therapeutic it was a wonderful cat. She never left my side. She constantly purred. The purring, I don't know if you know, is really therapeutic. Okay.
No, I,
Yeah, that was really calming me down and making me feel loved and wanted, which I just felt so isolated and abandoned at that point, right?
yeah.
So in the end, I thought, okay, let's try as a last resort, let's go to the doctor, see what he can prescribe. So of course he prescribed diazepam, which is a really strong antidepressant. But
Okay.
I knew in my heart of hearts it wasn't the right thing for me, but I thought I would try it. I took half a tablet and then tried to walk up the stairs to go to my bedroom. And I was so dizzy and out of it. And the big, very loud voice in my head told me, you don't need drugs. You
Mm,
can do this. You can get through. This is all a big test that you have to get through. So I went into my library, my personal development library, and I pulled out two books, which really changed my life. The Jack Canfield's Chicken Soup for the Soul. Everybody knows
mm,
this. It's famous.
yeah,
He's got
yeah,
a whole library of them now.
yeah.
That was amazing. So depending on how I was feeling, in whichever stage of grief I was in, I just dived into the book, and it helped me lift me out of that phase. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Fantastic, Julie. That's fantastic.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and being vulnerable because that's a lot. And a
Mm,
lot of
yes,
us, we are, it's, I guess it depends on how you view your circumstances, how vulnerable you allow yourself to be, because some of us are concerned with being judged. So
yeah.
even being vulnerable in our truth and the things that we had to go through in order to be where we are now, that's brave in itself because
Mm.
we live in kind of this instant gratification zone right now amongst society. So people really highlight, they love to highlight the wins. That's why I'm transparent with all the failures I had.
Yeah. Well,
Because
yeah.
I want people to know that I built up upon
Mm,
the failures. I didn't let them
oh,
defeat me because I think the power lies in the overcoming,
of course,
right?
of course, of course.
Yeah.
And I keep reminding people that, Thomas Edison, he burnt off his eyebrows so many times and had something like 10,000 light bulb failures until he finally cracked it. He didn't give
Yes.
up. But
Yes.
each time he failed, he learned something new and he improved. And that's what we're all
Absolutely.
doing in this entrepreneurial game.
Absolutely. So when you were going through your experiences, were you certified prior to going through this pattern, this series of events that kind of put you on this trajectory to help a billion women? Were you certified before then, or did you have that pivotal moment where you knew something had to shift and then you pursued your certification to be able to help other women in situations like you?
Okay, well, I did it after. because again, the universe intervened and told me that I was supposed to start my coaching career sooner than planned.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been building up to coaching. Coaching for me is like mentoring, the next step after teaching. I'm an English teacher as well. I'm all about educating and sharing knowledge and helping people have a better life. If you're
Yeah.
informed, yeah, exactly, right? So
Yeah.
no, I didn't have the qualifications beforehand, but I did get them because I know how some people just hang on all your qualifications and certifications, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
for
But I
sure.
definitely have the life experiences. I'm overqualified as a transformation coach, to be honest.
So why did you, when you were formulating your goal and putting your plan into action to become the type of coach that you are
Mm.
today, why did you land on 1 billion women to serve? What was your thought process around that?
Okay, well, it started at around about 10,000, and then I got into studying and learning and implementing the law of attraction, which I'm very big on, and I teach it
Yes.
and I use it to great effect in my life. I mean, I've just manifested this amazing flat that I'm in up in the beautiful Italian Alps. That's a
Oh,
huge manifestation, right?
right.
And it's bills and rent free, right?
Wow.
Yes, that's a huge manifestation. That's just one of many. So when I was learning about the law of attraction and all of that, I was like thinking, okay, well then I need to, getting back to your question, which it slipped my mind. What was the question again? Sorry. I've got
The
lots of
question
thoughts
was,
going.
what made you land on 1 billion women
Yes,
to serve? Yeah.
yes. So you have to take inspired massive action in the law of attraction in order for it to manifest. So I
Yeah.
decided, what the hell, 1 billion, but not directly. I can't contact 1 billion people and make such a huge impact on their lives. But through the ripple effect, if I help you, you will go and help your inner circle, and you'll use the tools that I teach you to help them, or you will be a role model for them, and they'll be like, why, how did you get from kitten to lioness? Tell me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same thought process, right? When I'm
Hmm.
thinking about the people that I want to impact and what that network looks like. And I
Yeah.
started to actually put into plans like, I want to impact people with my book. I want to impact
Hmm.
people with this podcast. I want to impact people with the conferences and the speaking engagements. So when you think about your life's work and how many lives you will touch and how many people you inspire, like just my book alone, people come back and the things that they say, just inspired to move forward with their business and feeling passionate about what it is they're doing. It is
Hmm.
that ripple effect. There will be
Yes.
lives, Julie, that we touch. Well, we may never hear the story. We
Yeah.
may shake that person's hand, but because of the ripple effect and how we affect other people and how we do it with intentionality and love and
Yeah.
caring and in all of those wonderful things in our
Yeah.
heart, there will be circumstances where we don't even know the fruits of our labor, the people that
Yes.
it touched.
Yes.
So do you visualize? You talked about manifestation. So do you
Mm-hmm.
practice visualizations and like
Oh yes.
vision boards and keeping it very in the
Oh
front of
yes.
your mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Songs, music, affirmations, you name it. Everything. I do everything. I've got alarms going off on my phone telling me to remind me to think positive, to raise my vibrations, because during the day there's so much negative energy thrown at us
Yeah.
that just lowers how we feel. And I love what Wendy said about the smile. I'm always smiling. That's why I've got these big cheeks. You
That's
know?
so amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and that's true. We have to put in a lot of work to make sure that we're protecting our energy and to make sure that we are operating at a certain level. You know,
Yes.
I too believe that we vibrate on certain levels.
Mm.
And that's
Yes.
why certain people like just meet each other and click and they hit
Yes.
it off is because you're vibrating at a certain level to where you're
Yes.
matching vibration. If
Yeah.
someone is operating or vibrating at a lower level than you are, you're going to
Yeah.
be like, okay, I love you, but I think I might have to love you from a distance because we're not we're
Yeah.
not on the same level, right? So
Yes.
I completely understand that. So did you have that mindset when you were going through your struggles, or were you just so engulfed with the anxiety and the depression and the circumstances that you weren't able to see past your predicament?
It was overwhelming, and it's taken me a long time for me to shake off and remove the onion layers. I compare it to an onion. So we were all born lions and lionesses, as I said, but over time, all these layers start accumulating over the lioness persona. If it's, society, our parents, the education system, whatever it is. And
Right.
so basically, we need to understand who we truly are. A lot of us are trying to find our purpose here. Um, and by stripping back the layers to find out who you truly are, you just become so authentic, and it just
Mm-hmm.
shines out of you. Even doing things virtually, people have
Yeah.
told me they can feel the positive energy coming off me.
Yeah.
There's energy everywhere. So yeah, but from somebody who's gone from a very ego controlled left brain kind of thinking, very
Mm-hmm.
much a programmed person, I've had to basically delete the programming and put my own software in there and pick
Yeah.
and choose what my parents taught me. Some of the stuff was ridiculous, and I'm like, no, that doesn't resonate with who I am today.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
So when you were helping women overcome the limiting beliefs and
yeah.
gain the confidence that they need to in order to become the best version of
Mm.
themselves, what type of identity or what type of traits do you typically identify that associate with low self-esteem? What does that look like?
Low self-esteem. Okay. Well, this is one of my modules in my Unleash Your Lioness coaching program. We do a deep dive into how low your self-esteem is, but it covers how you see yourself in the mirror. Can you even look at yourself in the mirror? Most of us are just in autopilot mode, brushing our hair, putting our makeup on, brushing our teeth, but nobody actually really looks deep into the eyes. The eyes are the eyes, the windows to the soul. So, we need to be loving ourselves in the mirror and all this good stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and so um, I do all of these kinds of things to help me, and I teach all of this stuff. So low self-esteem for me is when you don't have you don't have and you don't feel and trust your own intuition. You have a gut feeling about something, but you need approval for it.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so
Yeah.
good. That external validation.
Yes.
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 That's something else that I had to
Mm.
overcome myself, right? I think
Yes.
all of us do it some way, shape, or form where we forget who we are in the essence of our
Mm.
individuality and who we have come to this planet to be, because
Yeah.
along the way, there's these various blockers of
Mm.
people and systems and everything attempting to strip us of the essence of our actual natural being. So you go through this process of like trying to fit in and try to be accepted and looking for outward validation. So
Mm.
a lot of the things that I had to overcome was that outward validation piece where I felt like, oh, well, if I'm the chair of this board, or if I sit on this council, or if I do this thing, or if I'm featured in this article, then I'll be good enough. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't until I was featured
Yes.
in all the things, that I was the leader of all the things, that I was like, this, no. It's not until you do all the things that you realize that that is not how you should measure yourself, not by your outward accomplishments. It really
Yeah.
adds up to mean nothing. It starts from within. We have to love ourselves
Yes.
who we are. It's not something that's earned, essentially, self-love,
Yes. Of
right?
course. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes. I totally agree with what you're saying. You're spot on. But it really is a huge journey going inward, reflecting on who you are, really really looking with like a microscope at what your limiting beliefs are, what your fears are. Why do you have low self-esteem? You know, what is your real character? I've done so many quizzes and tests to really get to grips with who am I as a person. And
Right.
the more I learn, the more I'm more comfortable in my own skin. And I think once you are comfortable in your own skin, you can do anything. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. It really requires bravery to be
Yes.
comfortable
God.
within our own skin,
Yes.
because when we are our truest self and someone doesn't like you,
Mm.
then it's personal. But if
Yes.
you are pretending to be a version of yourself and someone doesn't like you, it doesn't hurt as much because they don't like the facade or they don't like the perception of you. So it's almost like a way to
Mhm.
guard ourselves of like, well, I'm going to just show up in this way so I'm likable and so I'm acceptable, but this isn't really who I am. So you ultimately end up feeling empty anyway because that person
Yeah.
doesn't like you for who you actually are. Now, honey, 2023, I am Alexandria all the way.
Me
And if
too. Me
people
too.
don't like me for who I am, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to do what God put me here to
Exactly.
do.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
myself and to love my network and people and to try to empower people and uplift people and help people along their journey. And I understand there's going to be people along the way that doesn't like me for XYZ. And I'm okay with that. But I
Yes.
was the type of person where I was like, that person doesn't like me. I'm going to make them my friend. I don't have time for that now. Like, if I get vibes from you, we're done here.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. But it takes a lot of courage and realization and awareness to get to that level. A lot of people are just so fixated. I was in trying to fit in, but we're all so unique. Why are we all trying to be like everybody else?
Yes.
It's such
Yeah.
hard work as well trying to do that. It's
Oh,
exhausting. It
it's
was so
exhausting.
exhausting for me.
I was about
And
to
I,
say
and
the
I
same. Exhausting.
yeah, I just woke up one day and I just said, can I, excuse my French, but fuck it. Why can't you just live as you are? Be who you truly are. Break away, break the mold, be the black sheep of the family, be outspoken, controversial, whatever makes you happy. Otherwise, you are going to end the rest of your days with so many regrets about not living your life to the fullest or as authentically as you can, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the
Uh,
16 ways to overcome the toughest challenges,
mm,
that is one of your methodologies, right? So
yes.
how did you come about breaking down those 16 ways to overcome your toughest challenges?
Oh, well, some of it comes out of my coaching program. A lot of it I've faced myself, you know. So
Yeah.
I've done a lot of, I'm a great researcher. I've done loads of research on tips and advice and tools on what can help you um, keep moving forward. We're all trying to move forward. We're all trying not to let our past control our present. We're trying to desperately keep our thoughts positive, trying to keep high vibe as well, high vibrations. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I came up with those 16 different ways. In my opinion, they're the most important 16 ways.
Yeah. 16 ways to overcome the toughest challenges. And you look at the entire person, right? So it's a holistic
Mm,
approach to
yeah.
evaluating these women that you partner with to help them overcome whatever obstacle it is that's keeping
Yes.
them being confident, right?
Yes. I also throw in there, just for good measure, instant miracle healing, which is removing energy blocks that they may have, which is really
Mm,
powerful. Yeah.
yes. Wow, that's
Yes.
interesting. So how
Yes.
do you go about doing that?
Oh, the instant miracle healing thing, that's a gift that I've picked up over the last 3 years. It's something we all have within us. but a lot of us don't realize. But when somebody shows you that you are able to do this, it's like it's opened up so many doors. I've helped to heal so many people. I do a mixture of high energy, high frequency healing and the peace process. So it's a two-way thing. You're doing something and I'm doing something, and the two methodologies are really powerful together. So
Wow.
I've managed to stop a migraine in a minute. That's amazing.
Oh wow. So
Yeah, it's
it's
powerful stuff.
in the physical essence that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
is
using
however
using
it manifests in the physical.
yeah, using my energy, my chi, as they like to call it. Yeah, the chi, the prana energy inside of me. Yeah, I can heal you, but we can all heal ourselves. You know.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
But that all comes back to you helping other women identify that they are capable
Yes.
to heal themselves,
Yes.
to live in their own power. So
Exactly.
that's where your title came from. You want to be known as the Fearless Lioness Specialist because you want to help women identify their own lioness and do
Yes.
that through your lived experiences, the things that you overcame. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for sharing. So tell the people how they can get in contact with you. And you have a special deal for our listeners and our viewers, don't you?
I do indeed. Yes. I am not only just offering the freebie, but I'm also offering a generous 50% off my highly successful coaching program, which is designed to halve your fears and double your self-esteem in only 3 months, which is quite a statement to make. But if you follow all the homework's really interactive and inspirational. You listen to music, you watch videos, you record your own voice. It's amazing stuff. And intertwined in my course is also about the law of attraction. So the components of the law of attraction are also in my course. But I would like to highlight some powerful modules just to give them a taste of what's in there. So we do a deep dive into what's holding them back. We really dissect what is the fear fiend and what fears they actually have so they can address them. I help them to reclaim their power, to get out of the victim mode. I do the instant miracle healing, as I mentioned. I do attitude of gratitude, which is all helping with raising your vibrations, getting in tune with receiving better things into your life, better things, better people. Um, Also, how to make a no regret decision, which is really important these days. Um, I have a module called Shut Up Chip. And Chip is basically your negative self talk character. And you just need to turn the volume down on him. Yeah. Well, a lot of
Like a
people
chip
don't know
on
how
your
to do
shoulder?
that.
Like a chip on your shoulder? Shut up,
Yeah.
Chip.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have these. I finish off the whole program with motivational stories, which are really great. Yeah.
I
So
love
yes,
that.
and I have one of the best testimonials I can share with you is with my paying client. She was stuck in her comfort zone. She had a huge fear of rejection. Constantly looked for others for approval and validation, felt really bad about herself and relied on other people's opinions, even, right? And then
Mhm.
after these 3 months, she can listen to herself now. She doesn't judge herself anymore. She doesn't compare herself to others, which is a big no no. She puts herself first, i.e., she loves herself. She's at peace with herself. She's focused and concentrated on her goals now. She's constantly expanding her comfort zone, even if she's only taking baby steps, and she's fully aware of her limiting beliefs now. So she's
Yeah.
controlling them. So that's an amazing testimonial. It's a
Yeah.
really powerful program.
Oh, so good, so good. So guys, make sure you connect with Julie here. Her deal is you get 50% off her coaching program when you email query about UYL program to julie.elves72 at gmail.com. And as we come to the close of our podcast, we are a podcast that prays. So we like to give gratitude and honor God. That's what we believe. Our God for our abundance. And you know, we do a lot of vision boarding ourselves, Julie, darling. We know about that life, right? Because we want to live a certain way.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your time with me here, and we do close out with prayer. Okay, so I'm gonna get into it. Dear God, we thank you for another day. I thank you for the opportunity to meet with so many amazing, powerful people. I thank you for the opportunity to help the people that I align with, to inspire people, to lift up people in their businesses and their operations. And I ask that you offer a hedge of protection around people's livelihoods and their health and their lifestyles and their mental fortitude, Lord God. I thank you for this opportunity, and I steward my voice with intentionality and in love every day, every minute. I pray these things according to the character and identity of Christ. Amen. All right, my love. All right, Julie. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you being here with me, and thank you for telling me your story. I appreciate you.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I love you guys. Be blessed.